I'm just going to grab the camera and walk around and show a few more details. I'll walk inside as well. And don't forget, I've got these two tripods. One half is filled in by a nice thatch roof out of long grass like that. I was restricted here. I've got this shelter, this Thai style shelter here, so I had no room. But that actually forced me to make a nicer thatch roof like that using long grass instead of just throwing a mountain of material. Now in the real world you can then just throw stuff up there. I can put another log here like I was talking about across here. I can't do it here. There's some gaps here. These gaps don't matter so much again, as long as you have your roof. You don't need as much material down the bottom here, but I can still put wood here, some more vertical supports wood, throw small sticks on, even interweave more stuff like that. You can see how I've got an interwoven stick coming out here and in here, and then on top of that you can lay more leaves, long grass and so forth. So half the tripod has been closed off to form half a wall, and half the tripod is now my door to go in. The tripod on the other end, of course, is totally closed. Now there's one good feature about this I want to show you, and this is the great advantage of having two tripods like this instead of the traditional single tripod with a big opening at the front. Yes, but what you're going to have is one big opening. You crawl in, have your feet sticking inside there, and your head's coming out here, and you've got this big unprotected opening. Now a picture's worth 1,000 words. Have a look at that, and there's the inside of that tripod half covered up. And you can see how it's now like a door into a cave, and it's at an angle. You go in and you have to turn a corner to go into the shelter like that. You can see how that's much more better. It's protected, there's more security and so forth, and it isn't straight. So imagine if I just had my traditional tripod with the ridgepole going back. You've got this massive opening. If it rains at an angle, your head's going to get wet, half your body's going to get wet. Now in that fashion, and it's totally superior to the traditional emergency tripod shelter. It takes more work and more resources, but it's much better, much stronger with two tripods. If I walk into here and have a look at this, there's my roof extenders. So there's my A-frame, and you can see how the roof has come out that far because I put those roof extenders on there. You can put 4 on 4 corners. That's why you end up with 18 6-foot poles. The minimum, I think, you want to get to 14, but with these roof extenders you can have 18, 4 on the corners above the A-frames, and that's how much more room I've got for the roof and how much larger the shelter is. And the same goes for here. Have a look at this. That pole there is the A-frame, and look how the roof has gone out. It may not look like much, but you know, I've just gained that much more room using those roof extenders. And there's the A-frame again, and the roof's coming out here. If I come in here, again, if I was by myself, I would put the bed right in the middle. I can have 2 people here, and you've seen that in a previous video. On platforms, nice, up high, nice and dry, off the ground, off the dirt. You can sleep here, no worries at all. If I come in here, there's my platform in the end alcove. That's the second tripod out here. And if I have a look at the A-frame again, there's the A-frame. Look at the gap between the A-frame and the roof. That's how much bigger this shelter is. There's my roof extender. There's the A-frame. I've got a whole massive hand width of extra room. Imagine I had the roof on the A-frame. How much smaller the shelter would be. That's why it's a 2-man shelter. Those tricks up my sleeve, the roof extenders, just makes a more kick-ass shelter for 2 people. 3 people in a pinch can lay here. 2 people nicely. 1 person, it's a mansion. Now, I don't have a roof extender on this one. I've got 3 roof extenders. Now imagine I put that roof extender here. That's the A-frame. So the roof is on the A-frame. So this whole roof could be out like that. If I had a roof extender, I've only got 3 on 3 corners. So that's a good example of, and it's good that I've done that to show you what's going on. There's the A-frame. There's the A-frame and the roof extenders right out there. Perfect example. If I did the same here, this roof would be out further and this shelter would be even bigger. So there's the alcove, raised platform storage for gear, firewood, my 2 beds, raised beds, pretty good roof here. You don't want to see really gaps. I can fill in, if I look straight out there I can see sun. It's not a big deal to see some sun because you're looking straight out, and don't forget the rain's going to be coming down, but I can still throw more material on. That's what I mean, to keep filling these gaps. On this side I need more leaves, yes. That's the palm fronds, as you can see, forms a nice matrix to hold leaves. I need to keep throwing more stuff on this side especially. On the ridge I'm going to throw more banana leaves over the ridge to waterproof that. And on this side I can throw more stuff, but it's not too bad. Look how thick it is over here. Not a gap anywhere. Come up here, okay, a bit of a gap. So that's what I mean. You can see how I can come in here and sleep in here. But that ongoing work is just to keep throwing more material and keep making it more and more waterproof. I'm going to come out of here. If I stand here, look how protected the entrance is. Half the alcove's enclosed. Look at that nice roof. And you can see how much, imagine I didn't have that half a wall and I just had this whole A-frame open. Look how open and exposed that is. Now it's half enclosed. I've got this small door going out there, and security wise, you know, it's 10 times better than having a big opening where the A-frame is. And here's the underside of the roof here. All these sticks I've interwoven between, they're my 2 main supports. That is the roof extender, that's the A-frame, that's the extra room I've got. 2 supports. I've thrown in some other sticks, a bigger stick here, a log, just to give more support, and all these small pliable sticks I've interwoven through and put grass on top of that, so I can see how that works. I've got gaps down the bottom which I can fill in, but you can see how this whole roof has been done. If I come out of here, that's the back side of it. For the sake of these videos, it's finished, but I'm going to keep throwing more material on, make it more waterproof, and when the rains do come back and it rains, I'm going to check it out and do another video update. And you can see how I can just throw more material, long grass, small leaves, you name it, on top of their banana leaves over the ridge. Nice thatch roof here, no palm fronds, but there's palm fronds over here and leaves, just to give different types of ways to make the roof as a demonstration for you guys. And there's a retaining wall that I built down here. There, stakes at an angle and some poles along there. That's a barrier and so forth. You can just put logs like that, even better. And that's one of those ongoing things you can do. You don't have to do that on the first day, but as an ongoing project, you keep improving, adding more security and barriers to your shelter, and you have better peace of mind when you're in there at night time trying to sleep. I can put a fire out here. I am going to make a door as well. That's a future video, and maybe the door might form an awning and I could have a small fire underneath an awning. We'll see what I can do. It's much more superior than a standard tripod emergency shelter. It does take more effort to make because you've got 2 tripods, but if you've got maybe enough resources around you, perhaps a bit more time, a whole day or something, you can make this. Now you can always throw up a quick emergency lean-to or tripod and then build this as a secondary shelter if you think you're going to be spending a lot of time wherever you're stuck. So that's another option. You'd much rather live in here for a long time than your standard tripod with a big A-frame opening and so forth. As a final quick point, I did do some calculations on a bit of paper, and a 4-foot ridge pole, 6-foot poles will give you that 45-degree angle or thereabouts. That's all approximate. And of course you can make the ridge higher if you want. Go to 4.5, 5 feet, 6 feet, whatever you like. But you may need, well, you will need longer poles to maintain the 45-degree angle with a higher ridge pole. I think a 45-degree angle is the best compromise angle that you want. Too steep, stuff falls off, but it's better weatherproofing. Too shallow, you get too much rain on top. I hope you found it interesting. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.